Good morning, boys and girls. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Today, we are going to be talking about author's purpose. And this is something that we've gone over since the beginning of the year. So this should be like super easy to you. And usually when I'm reading a book, I'm like, oh, like this is the author's purpose and this is why. But today I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to go over our handy dandy anchor chart and we are going to be talking about the book itself. Okay. And I'm going to be reading it. So let me share my screen with you. And here we are, author's purpose, okay? Author's purpose, there's always a reason as to why the authors write a book. So remember, it's easy as PI, right? So the P in PI stands for persuade. The author is trying to get you to believe something. They want you to do something. They want to change your mind, okay? The I in PI stands for inform. The writer is trying to give you facts. They want to teach you something. I told you these are like nonfiction books. Then we have E. The E in PI stands for entertain. The writer is trying to make you enjoy what you're reading. Now, enjoyment doesn't always have to go with happiness. Now, if they're writing a book, it doesn't necessarily have to make you laugh. It can make you sad, it can make you cry, it can make you scared, it can make you nervous. What the whole point is that they're trying to strike and put emotions. They want you to feel emotions, right? So like me and my in-person students, we read a book called Ida, and Ida is like a really sad book and we all cried, but that book was still written to entertain you, right? Okay. So moving on, I'm going to share my screen because we are going to read a book called All About Elephants, and it's by Karen Darlington. All About Elephants. Could you guess possibly just by looking at the cover and just by the title what the author's purpose of this book is? So let's start. Elephants are the largest land animals on earth. They are absolutely huge. The biggest elephants are twice as tall as a grown man and weigh nearly the same as 4 cars. There are 2 different species of elephants. They have the African elephant and the Asian elephant. Excuse me. Asian elephants are a little bit smaller and they're African cousins, but they are still unbelievably gigantic. Elephants aren't just big, but they're really clever too. They are among the smartest animals in the world, knowing how to use tools, count, solve hard problems, and even paint. They're also known for helping out other animals in the wild, including humans. Wow, I did not know that. Relatives to elephants. Believe it or not, one of the closest relatives to elephants is actually a furry little mammal called the hyrax. Hyrax. People often mistake hyrax for rodents or rabbits. Like elephants, they have stumpy hoof-like toenails and tusks that develop from their incisor teeth. The other members of the elephant family are dugongs and manatees. They are also known as sea cows. These large marine mammals feed on seagrass in shallow coastal waters and rivers. Even though of elephants, sea cows, and hyraxes look nothing alike, they all evolved from the same ancient ancestor millions and millions of years ago. That's so crazy. What they look like with their massive bodies, thick gray skin, long trunks, and pointy tusks. Elephants are hard to miss. Their trunk, which is has around 40,000 muscles in it. It does everything from smelling and breathing to sucking up water, trumpeting, and even picking logs. Elephants use their tusks for stripping bark off trees, moving branches, and fighting with other elephants. Interestingly, elephants are either left or right tusk, just like we are left or right-handed. African elephants also have enormous ears that are 3 feet wide, which they flap back and forth to cool themselves down. Oh, look at that baby elephant. So cute. Where they live. You can easily guess where African elephants and Asian elephants live. Most African elephants can be found wandering across the savanna and the desert areas of Central and Southern Africa. You can spot them on the edges of marshes and lakes too. When they want to play Oh, when they want to play in water. Some African elephants live in the thick rainforest areas instead, where there are plenty of leaves and fruit for them to eat. Asian elephants, which are scattered across China, India, Sri Lanka, and parts of Southeast Asia, live in forest as well. While when it's really hot, both elephant species can be found resting under shady trees. Look at this one. He's in between the trees. I bet you he's feeling cool, he or she. Grooming. Strangely, elephants groom themselves by getting dirty. Even though their skin is thick, it's also very sensitive and can attract lots of parasites. What they do is wallow around in shallow water until they're coated in mud. Then they use their trunk and they spray themselves with dust and sand. This dries into crust that protects the elephant's skin from ticks and lice. Parasites can be very itchy. So elephants sometimes have to rub their bodies against the trees and rocks. They are also helped out with by grooming by certain types of birds that ride on the elephant's back, and they pick off the ticks and they eat them. What do they eat? Did you know that elephants spend 16 hours a day feeding? That means they eat. This is fairly responsible considering they have to eat a huge 300 pounds of food every single day. Their diets range from grass and leaves to roots, bark, twigs, and fruit. Some farmers even have to deal with elephants feeding on their sugarcane and banana crops. Elephants also suck up around 50 gallons of water a day through their trunk. In parts of Africa, it's common for water holes to simply dry up, so elephants sometimes need to trek tens or even hundreds of miles to in search of more water. Their social life. So social life is kind of like what we do. Like sometimes we go to family gatherings, or sometimes we go to basketball games or whatever. We're going to talk about the elephant social life. I wonder, do they go to basketball games? Do they go out to eat just to go hang out with some friends? Do they go to the arcade? We'll see. Male elephants mostly live by themselves, but female elephants and their babies, which are called calves, travel together in large herds. Herds are so close-knit that a female will only leave if she is captured by humans or dies. Elephants are very social and care deeply about each other. They share their emotions with each other through touch, sound, sight, and smell. If an elephant is sick or injured, the other members of the herd will take care of it by bringing it food. When an elephant dies, the others cover it with dirt and branches and watch over it in silence for a few days. The mating season is very dramatic time for male elephants. They go through a phase where they're very aggressive toward other females and they fight each other. Babies. When elephant calves are born, they are 3 feet tall and weigh as much as a grown man. Newborns have very poor eyesight and they can't control their trunk properly. It wiggles around and sometimes makes the calf trip over. In fact, baby elephants like to suck on their trunks the same way that human babies suck on their thumbs. Calves are the center of attention in the herd. There are always babysitters available if the mother has to leave her calf to eat. Female calves stay in their herd for life, but when the male reaches about 15 years old, they have to leave. Predators of elephants. Thanks for their sheer body size and pointy tusk, adult elephants don't have any natural predators. However, calves have to watch out for lions, tigers, wild dogs, and hyenas. When herds travel, the baby elephant will always walk in the middle, surrounded by older members to protect them from being attacked. The only animals that hunt adult elephants are humans, who kill them for their skin, meat, and tusks. Elephants' tusks are also known as ivory, and ivory is extremely valuable and has been used to make all sorts of small objects and ornaments. Millions of elephants have ended up shot for their tusks. Conservation. African elephants aren't endangered, but there are still a few 100,000 of them in the wild. But sadly, the same can't be said for Asian elephants. One thing people are trying to do to protect elephants is conserving their habitats. Many of the areas where elephants are known to roam have been made into national parks where it is illegal for them to be hunted. Some elephants have special collars put on them so that the park rangers can track them and stop people from illegally shooting them. Hopefully, all this will ensure that elephants will be around for many years to come. So there's just a little bit more I want to read to you about it. But so basically, elephants are everywhere. The most famous elephant in the world was so large that his name now means huge, and his name was Jumbo. And he was so popular that 100,000 kids wrote letters to the Queen asking her to keep Jumbo in Britain and not let him be moved to the U.S. Another well-known elephant is Disney's cartoon character Dumbo, who stars in a movie where he learns how to fly by flapping his enormous ears. Dr. Seuss, the tongue-twisting children's writer, also created a famous elephant character named Horton. You can also spot elephants in art as well thanks to their unique and exotic appearance. So these are some fun facts, and make sure you pay attention because there might be some questions about them. If you were to show an x-ray of an elephant's foot, you would see that their bones actually stand on their tiptoes. Elephants aren't able to jump, but they can do handstands. Believe it or not, an elephant's trunk is so sensitive that it can crack a peanut shell without breaking the peanut. Elephants can swim for 6 hours straight in lakes and rivers using their trunks as snorkels. The ears of an African elephant are shaped like Africa. The fun game that elephants like to play is to suck up water through their trunk and spray over their head like a fountain. I hope you enjoyed this long book. Have a great day.